Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
All day, let's go.
I'm just talking to us.
Oh, natural.
You guys ready? Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Here.
Darby,
Here.
Geary,
Here.
McMullen,
Here.
and Mayor Bedine.
Here. Any changes to the agenda? Other than no closed session for tonight? So that will be the only change. At this point in time, we'll open up for public comment. If you have, an item for public comment, please come to the podium and state your name, and you have 3 minutes. All right, no, hearing none, we will go to new business. Item 1, is a public hearing regarding authorization of a pre-annexation agreement between the city of Streeter and Jesse Furnches. Hope I did not mispronounce the name. So can I get a motion and second to open the public hearing?
Motion. Second.
Okay, a motion by Matt and second by Tim. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Darby,
Aye.
Geary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Bedine.
Aye. Okay, and does anyone here, so both the audience or council, have any comments regarding this one? No, Jeremy, if you want to just speak to this.
Thank you, everybody. The owner, Mr. Funchess at 1406 East Elm, was outside of the city limits currently, but needed sewer service, had a failed septic tank. We had sewer available, so he's signed the petition and the agreement for the agreement, so we're having a public hearing. The agreement will require 25% payment in lieu of taxes every December. I think the council's approved 3 or 4 of these, so he'll pay 25% of what his taxes would be until such time as he's annexed. Until city limits touch him, then he automatically comes in. Cheryl could probably speak to, we've done this in the past, and, but he's already hooked up to sewer. Once he filed this, we did allow him to hook up to sewer. He paid the tap fee and hooked up because he had no sewer, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Can I get a motion and second to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Brian with the motion and Jacob with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Darby,
Aye.
Geary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Bedine.
Aye. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the execution of the pre-annexation agreement that we just discussed. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Jacob and then made the motion and Tim for the second. Any discussion? Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Darby,
Aye.
Geary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Bedine.
Aye. Item 3, resolution 2022-21, appropriating $240,000 in motor fuel tax funds in connection with the 12th Street reconstruction project by the city of Streeter under the provisions of the Illinois Highway Code MFT section 18-00101-00RS. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Brian motion and Jacob with the second. Any, if you wanna go through this one, Jeremy?
So thank you, everyone. So as we talked about last month, you guys appropriated the money, the initial $350,000 for the 12th Street project. I kind of made a little early warning that everyone knows about inflation and everything going on now, that we may be in the situation, unfortunately we are. The resolution for an extra $240,000 in MFT funds will allow the project to move forward. We had 3 bids, or the state did. It's a state contract, so the low bid being Toby's Construction and Cartage from Hersher, who we've used many times in the past. They'll do a good job. So Recommending that it move forward, we do have the MRT funds available to move it ahead, so if there's any questions, happy to answer.
Sure, so if we approve this, I believe you said was July, after July 4th?
Well,
That
so
time period?
basically, if you guys approve this tonight, that'll be our concurrence to award. The state goes through the process of contracts and all those things, so my estimate would be after the 4th of July, by the time they get the state's contracts and everything. Definitely.
Any other questions or items for discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Darby,
Aye.
Geary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Vida.
Aye. Item 4, ordinance 2022-09, amending section 1024-120 of the Streeter Municipal Code, designating the 200 to 300 block of North Everett Street as a no parking area for the city of Streeter, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois. I get a motion and second.
Second.
Okay, that was Tim with the motion and Jacob with the second. Any discussion? We talked about this last week at the committee of the whole, so no changes to that one. Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Abstain.
Darby,
Aye.
Geary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Vida.
Aye. Okay, item 5, resolution 2022-22, authorizing the purchase of 2 ambulances to provide ambulance service beginning October 2022 to the city of Streeter, Illinois, counties of LaSalle and Livingston. Can I get a motion and second? So we have a motion by Tim. Does anyone have a second?
Second.
Second by Brian to open discussion on that one. All right, so any discussion? Yep,
Have we got any other bids?
Let me
Give
give a
status
background
on
on
this.
where we are and how this purchase fits into the overall scheme. So as you know, we initiated discussions with both the fire unions as well as with private companies performing the services with the intent that we were gonna pursue the dual track in order to provide the actual labor that the city was likely to, gonna be managing and the overall program, owning the ambulance and providing the facilities, as opposed to the old arrangement, which was one company providing everything. We would also contract separately for billing services. And so we have multiple angles that we're approaching. With the council's approval, mayor's approval, I intend to release an RFP for contract services. I believe at this stage that it will likely be the low-cost option for the city. And I believe that we can get the proposals in time for review by city council at the next, the whole meeting in June. And so I have a collective bargaining session scheduled for tomorrow with the union to explore with them their opinions about and what their requirements would be if we were to bring it in-house. But as you may know, there are certain statutory rights that the union has that could affect long-term costs for the city. And so I think it's prudent at this stage to fully explore other options. And the decision doesn't have to be made tonight as to which of the options we have. I'm not presenting that to you. Allowing us to proceed with purchasing ambulances, though, would, when they become available, because one of the issues is the market's pretty tight on ambulances. So if you give me the permission to go out and buy ambulances, we would continue to do that. Once we get the ambulance, we can get them ready to be inspected and approved by the regulatory agencies so that we're ready to actually put them in service. And there's a time period that we have to go through for that. As part of that process, it also affects our ability to bill for services. So there's multiple things that need to be done, and what I am attempting to do is to continue along each of the tracks to give us the option going forward. We always have the ability to contract with AMP under the terms that they had initially proposed, and we're now exploring other options. I think the other options are going to be more viable and sustainable over time.
What will the ambulances be doing is if we purchase them, I mean, do they just sit or?
Well, they won't be put into service until this fall, but they will need to be thoroughly inspected, equipped, and equipped with all the supplies, and then we'll need to make them available to the agencies that have the license and allow us to use ambulances. And then that is a requirement for them getting in line and getting approval for Medicare and Medicaid billing. One of the issues that Pontiac ran into, because Duffy's abruptly closed and they had to do this in a matter of a very short period of time, weeks, if not less, is that they found themselves running into billing issues. They were able to get the license for the ambulance, but then they didn't get it in time, and there was a long delay. When we met with them, I think that they still hadn't received some of their revenues, and it was at that point, months out. And so they didn't realize that mistake early on. They didn't deal with it until later, because so much was taking place at the time. So one of the things we learned from our Pontiac meeting was, if we're gonna stand up our own service, then we better get the ambulances, get them licensed in order for us to continue on with all of the regulatory approvals we need in order to then bill later when we start delivering the services. You don't wanna wait and deliver the services and then start the regulatory process for billing.
And then which department would own the ambulance then?
It won't be owned by a department, it'll be owned by the city.
Okay, I mean, it says here it'd be used for training, or allow the staff to complete their training for the fire department.
What was that?
I'm not aware of that statement.
It says purchase of the ambulance will allow staff to complete the required licensing.
Yeah, that's management. That's
Oh, okay.
myself and
I didn't know
and
if it was
fire
the actual
chief.
ambulance.
Yeah, no. As we've discussed, I'm very concerned about allowing our union firefighters to perform any functions related to ambulance services, because the implication of the Illinois Substitute Act and other public sector bargaining laws that make it one direction. Once we start down that path, we can't go backwards.
That's my
As part of our
concern as well.
discussions with them, though, they have indicated that they may waive some of those requirements, but we haven't fully flushed that out yet. So we're gonna allow that process to unfold, and that may be information that's important to you when you make the decision next month.
Right. I'm just nervous about purchase of the size with no concrete direction.
Well, given the market for ambulances and used ambulances, let's say we decided to move in a different direction and contract out for everything, then I suspect that we could sell that without much problem and probably without much of a loss. We have to move pretty quickly when they do become available.
Right, yeah, and lots, I was looking online, I seen there's quite a few out there to purchase. I mean,
Well, what we're looking for is
Type 3
a newer truck body, a new truck body with a refurbished box, as opposed to just a used ambulance.
Mhm.
We want to get as close to new as we can. And now our third ambulance, which isn't on the table tonight, which would be a backup, most likely a backup because of the long delay. If we want to provide non-emergency transport services, then we'll need a third ambulance. But we're not there yet. Our focus right now is on emergency services.
So this RFQ will probably be released by end of this week, maybe early next week for
Yeah.
services. So if we do go forward with purchasing, that's kind of the safety net, is that we can resell those if we need to. But at least we have them, versus, you know, the supply chain issues that we see. At least I've been seeing them, a lot of things, so.
If I may, Your Honor,
Yes.
from my other clients, I represent a number of fire protection districts. They are, for like new vehicles, easily a year out. What I'm seeing with my township road districts, trying to get new equipment, a year to 2 years out. So there is definitely difficulty getting things in a timely manner.
My fear is we focus only on personnel and we're not ready with the equipment. And then we're kind of tied into, you know, we just limited our options. I'm trying to keep all of our options available.
With no numbers from anybody else, other than AMT and the fire department. AMR,
That's what this,
That's what.
I just got this
Okay.
over the meeting.
That's what we're now at, we've had multiple, I've had meetings and discussions both in person and on the phone with AMR and other companies. And so one of the concerns I had was we were gonna release something and then there would be questions that they would have. And I built into the process if something does come up, but I was trying to be anticipating what the issues that they would be concerned about in making a response. So we kind of worked through and discussed that. And I think we've had some pretty thorough discussions with these companies. And there's definite interest in serving Strayer. And as part of our investigations, I think I shared with you previously, Foster of another nearby city that currently contracts for just personnel only for paramedic level. And if we are able to get proposals similar to that, then I think with the anticipated billing, which we've already calculated what we think we can get revenue, a little less in the first year, but more in the second and third, when GEMP revenues come into play, then it could, I can't promise it'll be self-supporting, but it would be definitely significantly less than the $700,000 a year that AMP is asking for. You know, and keeping the billing revenues. Once we begin to lock in our prices, then we're in a position, I've already reached out to the other fire protection districts that AMP is currently serving. And I haven't contacted or been able to contact Cornell, but Long Point and Reading, and in Reading I've had multiple meetings that we'll be in a position then to share, you know, to negotiate intergovernmental agreements to provide potentially for additional revenue to support the program.
Any other questions or items for discussion? All right, hearing none, ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Nay.
Darby,
Nay.
Gary,
Abstain?
McMullen,
Nay.
Mayor Pete.
Aye.
The abstain will be counted as an unknown vote.
Okay, we'll go to item 6, consent agenda. Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Darby,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Pete.
Aye. City official comments? Start, Jacob, do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
No, nothing.
Brian?
No.
And Tim?
I am good.
You're good? Okay, I've got a list. All right, so, like, ask Dave just to mention, some personnel changes that we've had.
Yes, as you know, our public works director, Larry Hay, has announced his retirement in June. I posted the position, interviewed 2 candidates, and appointed Jeff Long to serve as public works director effective when Larry relieves, and I don't have a date. It's in mid-June. Also, our police chief has announced his retirement. And to deal with the interim period, because it's unlikely we're gonna have a police chief candidate ready in June, I've appointed Robert Wood to serve as deputy police chief. Now, this position will be different than the position of deputy police chief when Turner was serving in that capacity, in that I have been successful negotiating arrangements with a side letter with the FOP so that the deputy chief can actually work patrol. So it won't be an administrative position for the most part. It'll be counted toward the minimums and working patrol duties as he currently is performing that. But when the chief leaves, he'll move more into administrative for that time period and then return back to the street as deputy chief, but working patrol.
Do you have anything else, Steve, you wanted to mention? All right, I'll go, there will be a public memorial service for Jimmy Lansford on June 4th at 11 o'clock in the city park. And if there's rain, the backup location's Park Church. And then, upcoming events in the community, the Food Truck Festival this Saturday, Park Fest will be next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then YMCA Memorial Day 5K. 2 more nights to see Crazy for You at Eagle Lane. Plum Pavilion schedule just got released and is available on Streeter Tourism. Farmers Market and Jamming at the Clock begin the Friday and Saturday of June. And then the Chamber released a new map program, and they're asking if you're a business that has not been added to that, to contact them to be added. And then just a thank you to the volunteer groups that raised funds and planted flowers in the downtown planters. Some projects between Streeter and Woodland FFA, the Streeter Garden Club, some others that volunteered after they saw a Streeter Chamber e-blast. So that is all I have.
Mayor, what time did you say for June 4th there?
11 a.m.
Thank you.
Nothing else, then I will request a motion and second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Tim, and then you can pick for your second. I think I heard Brian first. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Crouch,
Aye.
Now exiting.
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.